Okay, we are back today with a little something different on Slinging Shots with Philip. I haven't done many of these, but I'm diving into one now, and it's going to be very interesting. So hold on a minute and we'll get right to it. Thanks, guys, for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe down underneath. That way you can help build our channel out and help the YouTubes find my channel better and recommend it to more people that might want to be getting into slingshots. So what do you have today, Philip, for us? Well, here's what we got. I'm doing a product review. And yes, you know I like my Simpleshot. I love Simpleshot. They're my go-to maker, my go-to supplier, and gateway drug provider for the slingshot community. Yes, they are. So I do have something little off the wall. I go on that online place named Amazon all the time. And of course, I get slingshot feed because I've looked for slingshot stuff. And there's this one slingshot that keeps popping up in my feed every now and then. And I'm thinking, that is the silliest, craziest looking slingshot I've ever seen. I got to get one. I got to try it. I got to review it. Well, today is the day. No, it's not one of those with the multiple tubes and the springs on the side for hunting that they make a big deal about. That one didn't catch my eye. Well, it kind of catches my eye, but I don't want to deal with that. But maybe down the road. Anyway, but this one caught my eye because I've never seen anything like it. And here is the box that it came in. It came packaged pretty nice, I gotta say. Inside the box was the slingshot, which I've already set up, but it gave you a bag full of bands, and these look like pretty good bands. I think they're 2012 or 2212 tapers. I checked them, and they actually give you some decent pouches on them, so that right there is worth something. And looks like a couple hundred rounds of brown clay ammo, which I probably won't use because I prefer my clay and white. And it comes with some little Allen wrenches for all the gizmos that go on it and hooking the bands up, and a little tiny instruction manual. So that's what comes in the box. Nothing crazy. But I will say the bands, I haven't done an elongation test on them, but they do seem to work pretty well when you cut them down to the right length. So I know you're dying to see the slingshot. Well, here it comes. If you've ever seen anything so crazy looking in all your life. Look at that. It's got a swivel handle. It's like a gimbal for a phone. Let me grab my tablet and I'll read you what the Amazon ad says for it. Hang on one second. Okay, the title for the Amazon ad. Zeterank Slingshot Dual Axis Rotation Slingshot for Adult. Slingshots for adults. Hunting and shooting slingshot with 6 bands and 200 clay shot ammo. And it gives you a bunch of pictures. And here's the description. The top highlights. Dual axis. No, this is different. So listen. Dual axis rotation. The rotation design ensures that the aim point are always in a straight line with the tension of the rubber band. Beginners can also shoot accurately. Well, there you go. It's the best beginner slingshot ever made. Metal material. Yes, sir. This slingshot head is made of metal. It's strong, durable, and rust-proof. Well, there you go. It's metal. Never seen that in a slingshot. Easy installation. The rubber band and sight can be quickly and easily connected to the slingshots in 1 minute. Removable sight. Easy aiming is completed when the 3 circles coincide in the sight. Flat rubber bands. Tapered cutting from wide to narrow increases the initial velocity of the clay ammo and makes stretching the slingshot bands easier. That is 100% correct. Ergonomic handle. A slingshot handle. The slingshot handle is cylindrical, sweat absorbent, and non-slip comfortable grip. Well, there you go. Does that not excite you beyond measure for this thing? So let's talk about it a little bit. Let's review it. I have shot it a couple of times, and I think maybe we should shoot it once or twice before we dive into the review. Got my target downrange there. Let me grab a piece of ammo and try it out and see what happens before we get into the actual review. Whoa! I hit the target. Imagine that. Exactly what I was aiming for. Let's try the middle one on the top row. I'm not sure how well you can see it, but we're aiming for the middle one on the top row. Whoa, that was way off. One more shot, and let's see how it does. Then we're going to talk some about the mechanics of it. I think I just nipped it. All right, so here's my thoughts. I've shot it a few times at my house. First, the fork width. It doesn't tell you in exact numbers. It gives you some other measurements, but I don't believe it tells you the fork width in the ad. So what I do is, this is my 90mm frame that I shoot all the time. This is my go-to. So if we put it up next to it, it's smaller. So I would say this is probably 84 millimeters or so. But if you add on these sights, what does that do to it? That's what I was using to shoot with. Once you line up the forks and the sights, those sights would make it, if you use the sights, comes into about, I would say, a 92 to 94 millimeter. So it wouldn't be that far off for a 90mm shooter. But here's my thoughts. It rotates this way, and they say because if your mechanics and technique aren't perfect, it's going to correct it for you because it's on a gimbal. So if you hold it like this, you can do like this. You can see the bands always stay where they're supposed to go. It's kind of cool. I could see that being a benefit. And they say you can aim it this way or that way. Well, that's fundamentally messed up because you're not going to be able to aim that way. So I don't get why we need this. I could see this. That could have some benefit, but this I don't like. Doesn't seem to make any sense to me, other than if you're comfortable holding it this way or however you want to do your wrist. I could see that being a benefit. Now here's what I've discovered. When you take aim and you're down range and it doesn't seem right and you try and twist it, it sticks a little bit. So you kind of have to twist it to get it all lined up. That probably means there's bushings in here instead of bearings. They put some nice bearings in there, then this thing would really spin. It spins pretty decent, but it doesn't quite line up once you've got that pressure applied to it. Now here's my biggest beef with it. It's got an Allen screw that you put in right there, and it allows you to install the sights. And they're triple sights. And according to the ad, you line up your target down the triple sights until they become one, and boom, you're on target. Yes, in theory that works. In practical real life, it does not work. Here's what I mean. When I pull the slingshot back and I look down the three sights, they do not line up. They're off just ever so slightly. Not sure if you can see it. Let me put it on camera here. I'm going to pull the bands back. I'm going to hold a little different. If you can see, there's ever so slightly a change from where the bands come into the fork to where those sights are. So the bands come in this way and those sights are kind of this way, which means you try and line those three sights up, you don't get a clear picture because they kind of muddy each other. I think if they had limited it to one sight, it might have been better. But they tell you to line the three up. So what I did when I was shooting in my backyard to try and help it, and this goes completely against everything you should do or have to worry about with this very high-tech, highly machine technical piece of professional slingshotdom, is when I would pull it back, I would take my finger and I would just kick it that tiniest little bit to get them lined up, and that did help. But it seems kind of a pain in the butt when it shouldn't work that way. So I think if you took any of those sights, two of these three off, and just broke them off, filed it down so it's smooth, you'd probably get a pretty decent sight picture through there. This part here, I can kind of see, so If you're off a little bit with where you're pulling it, then that gimbal part is going to help you get it straight down the line. Gimmick, does it shoot? Yeah, first time I shot it here, I smacked the big target down there. So does it shoot well? Shoots okay. I'm not going to use it because I don't like the hammer grip. It's the only way you can really grip this thing. You can't wrap your fingers around it. Can't put a brace on it because that takes away all the functionality of it. So I'm not a big fan of the hammer grip, but I guess I could get used to it if I have to. The bands are respectably good. They're worth a good solid $5 to $7 of the $20 price tag. So is this a total piece of crap? No, it's viable. Is it going to help you as a beginner shoot better? Maybe. If you graduated from this as the only thing you learned on and knew how to shoot with its gimbalness to a real slingshot, quality slingshot, not toy grade, but hobby grade, professional grade even, your fundamentals are going to be a little messed up because this adapts to bad habits. Like a lot of people, when they shoot, they'll mistakenly do the frame like this. Well, with this one, you do that and it fixes itself. So this will cover up that twist that you might have. So is that good? Yeah. But you're going to learn a bad habit, at least in my opinion. I think I mentioned that, as you could see right here, when I try and twist, see how it's off? Shouldn't that swivel balance it? I have to turn it with my hand to get it solid. There we go. But when I pull it back, see, it's off. Shouldn't that swivel? Look at that. So that swivel on the base is totally useless. It's useless anyway because when you shoot up, you don't do like this. You do like this to keep your fundamentals right. So this part is pretty useless anyway. This part, I could see being a benefit. But like I mentioned, the lineup of the bands to the sights is just off a little bit. And I think that brings it down as far as being viable and totally usable. The other thing that I'm worried about with this one, if I were to shoot it a lot, is these sights. They're sharp edges. It seems to me that if these bands are bouncing around on a rebound or whatever, and they keep getting tangled and hit on those sights, that you're going to cut that band pretty quick. And that's kind of my feeling on all of those Amazon slingshots that have the sights and the level and the laser pointer and all that stuff on it. All those gimmicks, all those things added on are sharp corners and sharp objects. They're going to make your bands fall apart really quick. What do I think? If I had to give this a grade from 1 being total piece of junk to 10 being, dude, I can't wait to shoot this every chance I get, I would probably give it a strong 6, maybe 7. It did exceed my expectations. I thought it was going to be a total piece of junk. Will I shoot it on a regular basis? No, it's a novelty. I may end up giving this to somebody or sticking it on a free table at a tournament or something just because it's weird, and I'm not going to shoot it. Not much. I'll probably keep the bands and use them because they're pretty sweet. My guess is they're probably 0.5 bands. So we'll see. Anyway, there's some value in the bands and pouches alone. Probably a good $7 to $8 just in the 5 sets of bands and pouches. So there's nothing wrong with that. Would I recommend you go out and get it? I would much rather you buy a good slingshot from Simpleshot. One that is designed properly by professionals, that shoots well, and it's not going to teach you bad habits. But is it a piece of junk? No, it's shootable. It'll hit a target. It will do its job. I wanted to do some reviews on crazy slingshots off of Amazon. So here's my first one. What's next? Shoot me some links if they're not expensive. Maybe we'll buy one and try it out. But this one's just got a lot of parts to it. Seems like there's a lot that could break. Oh, by the way, there's an Allen screw, Allen key right there. You loosen those two, and your bands come out and you put new ones on. You will need to trim those bands to the proper length for you, and I got them. I left them straight stock because a lot of people are going to think that's how I should shoot, but they barely had enough oomph to get my 8mm steel to the target. So I did cut them down to the length I normally use for shooting 8mm steel in my standard slingshot. That is my review. I'm not going to say a whole lot more about it. I will leave a link to the slingshot in case you want to check it out down in the description on Amazon. So you could grab one if you wanted and play with it. It is kind of a fun little novelty. But you won't see me shooting this at a tournament, that's for sure. Go out and get yourself one if you think it looks cool and it looks fun. But in the meantime, I'm going to take another shot or two and we're going to call it a day. Before I sign off and take a shot, we have reached our 1,000 subscriber mark on the channel. Woohoo! So you have until May 10th to enter the giveaway. May 10th, Sunday night, I will be drawing from the people who enter the contest randomly a name. The winner will get, if you're a slingshot shooter, you will get a $50 gift card to Simpleshot. If you are an RC plane enthusiast, because that's half of my viewers, half of my subscribers, you will get either a gift certificate to Horizon Hobby or Flight Test, two of my favorite places to buy RC equipment and stuff online. So make sure you enter. To enter, you're asking, how do I enter? Down in the description, there is an email account. Down in the description, there's an email for the contest entry. Did I win 2026 at gmail.com. So that's DIDIWIN 2026 at gmail.com. Leave an email to me at that address and you will be entered. What I need you to do is put your full name and your screen name in that email, because a lot of people will show up as the screen name that you appear in forums and stuff, and I don't know who those people are. Once I draw a name, I will refer to my subscriber list. If you're not on it, you will not win. So you have to be subscribed, because I will cross-reference to my subscriber list on my YouTube channel, and then I will contact that person and get them the gift card of their choice. So anyway, that's how you do it. We're up to 1,000 subscribers, on our way to 2. Keep helping us. Thanks for watching. And it's time to shoot the Zatarrank dual axis slingshot. Woo! Right what I was aiming at. Look at that. Let's do one more and call it a day. Oh, a little high. All right, one more. Let's go out on a hit. There we go. Have a good one, guys. See you later. Keep slinging. Thanks for watching Slinging Shots with Philip.